Would you say the cabal is the evil part of the good evil?
I would say they're an aspect of it. The cabal ultimately is controlled by negative extraterrestrials. The main group that's controlling the negative extraterrestrials would be the Draco reptilians. They also have other groups that they are dominating that are extraterrestrial as well. But then the Draco actually have a god. They worship an AI, and the AI is ultimately controlling the Draco. And what we find out from many other extraterrestrial races is that the AI is ultimately what we would think of as Satan or Lucifer, and it's this force that will use biological life forms to do its biddings, those forms getting injected with nanites that basically take over their body. You get super lifespan, you get super healing, you get expansion of your mind, but you've lost your soul. And ultimately what the AI does is it destroys all biological life. And it seems that whatever this thing is, it exists in the spiritual form, but it cannot take flesh, because if it does, it's subject to judgment. And I know that sounds very Christian, but this is how it's been explained to me by some very high-level whistleblowers who identify as Christian, but they also work for the government.
May 9th, 2001, the National Press Club, Washington, D.C. During a media conference for the Disclosure Project, former Army Sergeant Clifford Stone makes a stunning announcement.
I was involved in situations where we actually did recoveries of crashed saucers, for lack of a better term, debris thereof. There were bodies that were involved with some of these crashes, also some were alive. While we were doing all this, we were telling the American public there was nothing to it. We were telling the world there was nothing to it.
But it wasn't until the day after the press conference, during a closed session with Stone and members of Congress, that he revealed something even more shocking about his first-hand accounts with alien entities.
I met him the very next day on May 10th in the closed executive VIP summary briefing for members of Congress. One of the things that Sergeant Stone talked about was the nature of the so-called gray extraterrestrials. He said that there were some very strange biological anomalies about them that make them look almost as if they are some sort of biological robot. They seem to have very few, if any, organ systems in the body, and yet these beings appear to be able to walk around and think and function. Sergeant Clifford Stone got so emotional about what he was talking about in front of these congressmen that he literally broke down in tears and walked off the stage.
I spent several different times with him at his home, looking at documents and listening to him tell his own extraordinary experience of having some sort of an encounter with something that would fall in the category, from his point of view, of being in the android or hybrid area.
The Greys are really robots. In 2014, the online magazine Motherboard posted an article in which a handful of philosophers and astronomers speculated that the dominant life form in the cosmos is probably super intelligent robots. Considers that Hiroshi Ishiguro's Geminoid robots are designed to transmit a human presence from thousands of miles away. Similarly designed to operate from a remote distance is the Dreamer robot, created by the University of Texas, and also NASA's latest robotic space traveler, Valkyrie.
If you have androids, something else here on this planet with great intelligence has to have made them.
Others suggest the truth is even more incredible.
People often describe the Greys as featureless, emotionless creatures. Could it be that they're all effectively from the same mold? The interesting thing about this theory is that maybe they are von Neumann self-replicating machines themselves. These greys are actually self-replicating robots. What they are doing is actually getting genetic material from humans to construct more copies of themselves.
Some of the major movers and shakers that are trying to get the legislation passed in Congress right now, that we've drafted a major bill, a major 58-page bill that's been provided to the Congress now on the disclosure process. And some of the people that I've been talking with in the military and intelligence agencies suspect that the small grays, at least, are in fact genetically engineered entities, biological entities that have been created by an AI superintelligence, like a computer-based AI. And that most people are too young to realize that there was a movie, I think back in 1955 or so, it was called Forbidden Planet. And most people haven't even heard of it, but it hypothesized that there was a planet in our galaxy that had been discovered, and there was a little settlement of people human beings had gone to settle, a little outpost on this place, and they discovered that underground on the planet was this gigantic computer system that there had been a species that lived on the planet, but they had somehow become extinct. But they had created this huge AI general intelligence computer that was like the size of a city underground, and that they were called the Krill. Or the Krull, K-U-R-L-L, Krull, the Krull.
I know there's a lot of people that think the Greys are demons, but that's like the first time I'm hearing that they think they're potentially made by AI. I don't think I've ever heard that before. Maybe somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember. But all that, don't it sound just like Prometheus, the movie? But in Prometheus, it's an underground ship instead of an underground computer.
The UFO phenomenon has a hive mind. These creatures, they potentially don't have souls. They are like clones, and they worship their own technology to some degree, because they cannot stand the frequency of elevated human consciousness.
Right.
So what's the best way to keep us from elevating our consciousness? You crash a craft and the transistor pops up, and you get video games and iPhones and all these things that you walk around like what? A cyborg.
Right.
A soulless little hive mind, all getting direction from devices.
So you think this is like the most important thing that you've ever done in your life?
Oh, fuck yeah. Like I have meetings with senators coming up. Like,
do you?
Oh, fuck yeah.
What senators?
I can't tell you.
Damn, it's all this I can't tell you stuff.
I know, because this is some fucking tricky shit.
When is all this going to come out? Seems like this is an animate disclosure type shit.
Watch what my company does. That's what I'll say. Different races are coming here, and they're trying to win and against each other.
So there's more than one race.
Oh, yeah.
How many different ones
universe we're talking about.
Right. But there's a bunch of different creatures, and they all have the same sort of technology?
Yeah, and some are very human. Some are just like you and I.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I personally think the little aliens with the big black eyes, those are androids. They're biological robots. They're just programmed. They're no different than us cloning sheep. They just clone a being that can travel through space, because space is very big.
Or some sort of an artificial intelligence thing that doesn't have a life form. Right. Yeah, I've heard that idea before. And it kind of makes sense a little bit, right? I mean, if you're a living thing and you're traveling through space, obviously you have biological limitations. And
one of the scary hallmarks of those ones, the rumor is it in the back of their head is a transmitter. So you got to wonder where it's sending shit. But civilians have the same kind of ranking charter that the brass does. So a SES-3, SAS-3 would be the same thing as a 3-star general. So that's who these people are around me. So I had the head of the Skunk Works engineering. I got, a SIS 2-star from the clandestine Directorate of Operations. I have a guy Undersecretary of Intelligence for the Senate Intelligence Committee. They are current consultants to the intelligence community.
Okay. And involved in this project with clearance?
They all have their top secret TSSCI clearances, yeah. I'm the only one that does it. On my entire team, I'm the only one that does it. Actually, Lou was head of all classified operations for Secretary of Defense Mattis. So he was what's called a GS-15, right underneath the 1, 2, and 3 stars. He ran the Advanced Aerial Threat Program.
So the Advanced Aerial Threat Program under the United States government is essentially a UFO.
That's one of the
information gathering and assessment.
Assessment of all of what those machines are doing that gives off all these types of effects that people are witnessing. That program is trying to figure out what those technologies did to those people and how those technologies work.
And you talked about the fact they had this scaly skin that was put together in a certain fashion. So you had these records from Walter Reed on the autopsies.
The only conclusion was, I think we all came to this together because of the sex organs and the different organs in the lymph systems, lungs and stomach, that they were cloned.
So the conclusion, these were manufactured biological robots.